Hello everyone, this is Mr. Mahmud here, helping you do better in maths by giving you tips and tricks on how to revise and going through maths revision on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. Today I'm going to go through the predicted paper 2 for your GCSE Maths calculator paper 2, and it has been created by Maths Genie. I'll post the link in the description below, including the links to the answers, so please do check it out. I strongly recommend that you have a go at the paper first and then go through the video to correct your answers or mark your answers. So if you make any mistakes, please do correct it looking at the video. So let's get on with it. I'm going to start at the back of the paper because I believe that you've been practicing maths and you should be fine with the start of the paper, but if you need to, then obviously skip to those first questions. So let's get on with it. Question number 31, we have factorize x squared minus 11x plus 24. It is a factorizing quadratic question. So we know that when we factorize quadratics, we need to know what the sum and the product is. So the product is the n number, 24, and the sum is minus 11. So let's make a note of this here. The sum is minus 11, and the product is 24, positive 24. Now we need to list all the different ways we can get 24 by multiplying two numbers. So let's list those numbers. If you're ever not sure what these two numbers are, always list all the possibilities. So 1 times 24 gives us 24, minus 1 times minus 24 gives us positive 24 as well, because two negatives times together gives us positive. And 2 times 12 gives us 24, minus 2 times minus 12 is 24 as well. So far we don't have a minus 11, so let's carry on. So 3 times 8 gives us 24, but 3 at 8 gives us plus 11, does not give us a minus 11. So minus 3 times 8 gives us, minus 3 times minus 8 gives us positive 24, and we can see that minus 3 added to minus 8 gives us minus 11. So we're going to use minus 3 and minus 8 for our answer. So factorizing quadratics, we have double brackets. So write two sets of brackets with x in them, and our answer is minus 3. So x minus 3 and minus 8. X minus 8. You can check your answer by expanding the brackets, and you should be getting this question here. So that's a good way to check your answer. Next question, number 30. We have a trig question. How do we know it's a trig question? It is a right angle triangle, and there is an angle involved other than a right angle, so we need to use trigonometric ratios. So let's write down what those ratios are to start off with. So we know the ratio are so TOA. Now once we find out what the sides are, we can start using these ratios. Now the length of AC is 40% of the length of BC, so this length is 40% of this length here. Find the size of angle ABC, give your answer to one decimal place. Now only information we have is 40%. AC is 40% of BC. So let's choose a number. If AC is 4, BC is going to be 10, because 40% of 10 is 4. You could use other values as well. We can say if AC is 8, BC is going to be 20. If AC is, say, a different number, 40, we can say BC is going to be 100. Okay, so we don't need to use all these different values. Just to give you an example so that you know where do we get this information from and how it relates to this question. So we'll just go for 4 and 10. It should give you the same answer with the other values as well. So we need to label the size first. So let's label the hypotenuse first, because that's the easiest one to label. So hypotenuse is opposite the right angle, and opposite the angle given is opposite. Right up, right hype, and then the last one next to the angle is going to be adjacent. Now we can see that hypotenuse does not have any value given, so we don't need to use that. So let's cross this out so that it won't confuse us later on. Now let's try and choose our ratio, trigonometric ratio. And we can see opposite and adjacent are involved here. So opposite hypotenuse, no need to use that one. Adjacent hypotenuse, we don't need to use that one. Opposite adjacent, these are the two ones we're going to use. So we're going to use TOA. So we know we're finding angle. So we know the formula, the ratio is for finding angle is finding what x is. So x is going to be tan inverse 1 opposite over adjacent. Let's plug in the information that we've just got from the triangle. So that will give us tan inverse 1, and opposite is 4, and then adjacent is 10. So not 20, 10. There's 10 here. So let's plug this information in the calculator. So we have tan inverse 1. So we need to press the shift button, and then we need to press tan. That'll give you tan inverse 1. Open brackets, and we're going to do, you can put the fraction button in, or you can just do 4 divided by 10. So let's do 4 divided by 10 and close the brackets and then equal, and that will give you 21.801, and it's asking us to give us the answer to 1 decimal place. So we're going to round our answer to 1 decimal place, and that will give us an answer of 21.8. Just double check the digits after the 8 if you need to round it up or leave it as it is. So that's 0, so we need to leave it at 21.8 degrees. So the angle x is 21.8 degrees. Question 29. Adam is measuring the heights in centimeter of his tomato plants, and we've got the heights, class interval given, and the frequency, and we need to estimate the mean height. So when you estimate and when you have been given the class interval, we need to find what the midpoints are. So let's find out what the midpoints are. Now, if you're not sure, if you've been given some difficult numbers in the class interval, always what you can do is by adding the two numbers. So let's add 140. For this one, we know it's going to be 145. Just in case you get given a difficult number, then you have to add the two class intervals, 140 and 150. So let's add 140 plus 150, and then divide that by 2, and that gives you 145, which is the midpoint of 140 and 150. So let's write down the midpoints. So let's write down the midpoints. Let's make another column here, midpoint, and that's 145. With the rest of them, we can pretty much find the midpoint by looking at the numbers. So that's 155, between 150 and 60. 155, this is 165, 175, and then last one is 190. Just be careful, because it's between 180 and 200, there's 20 difference, so it's going to go up in at 10 to 180, which is 190. Very likely to make mistakes writing 195, and that could cost you a mark. Now what we need to do is we need to multiply the midpoint by frequency. So let's multiply these numbers. If you're not sure, use a calculator. It's a calculator paper. So 145 times by 7, that gives us 1015. So let's write the answer here. That's 1015. And this is 1550, 1550, and then 15 times 165, 15 times by 165, 2475, 2475, and then 175 times by 19, 175 times by 19, that gives us 3,325, 3,325, and then last one, 190 times 9, 190 times by 9, and 1,710, so 1,710. 10. We found the midpoint times by frequency. All we have to do is add these values together, and if you add these values together, that will give you a total of, let's find it out, 1015 plus 1550 plus 2475 plus 3325 plus 1710, and that gives us a total of 10,075. So let's write down the answer here, 10,075. So 10,075. Okay, just double check that. Now what we need to do is divide this total, the big number total, by the total frequency. Let's find out what the total frequency is. So the total frequency, if you add them up, should be 60. And the mean is going to be, the estimated mean is going to be 10,075 divided by 60. And that should give you an answer of, divided by 60. And change it to decimal, press the SD button, 167.916. 167.916 recurring, and just change it to maybe one decimal place, and that will give you 167.9, and these are in centimeters, and rounded the answer to one decimal place. It doesn't ask you to round the answer, but if you want to, make sure you write down the digits that appear in your calculator, and then if you want to round it, you can round it. Question 28, we have a polygon P, octagon A, B, and a triangle. So shape A is a regular triangle, and so the keywords you need to look out for is regular. Shape B is a regular octagon. Another regular polygon P is shown on the diagram. How many sides does polygon P have? You must show your working. Okay, so in this question we have to show all the working, how we get to our answer. We know that regular triangle, so we can say this regular triangle angles are each 60 degrees. So 60 degrees angle, each of them, because it's a regular triangle. Okay, we're only interested in this bit here because we need to find out what this angle size here is. Okay, now to find the interior angle of an octagon, we know we can find out the exterior angle and then take away from 180 to find the interior angle of an octagon. That's probably the most straightforward way to do it. We know exterior angles of a octagon or any shape adds up to 360 degrees. So exterior angle of octagon is equal to 360 divided by the number of angles. There are 8 angles here, so divided by 8, and that should give us an answer of 360. Make sure to count the zeros. I just pressed one extra zero by mistake, divided by 8, and that gives us 45. That didn't seem right, did it? So always make sure that your answer makes sense. So that gives us 45 degrees. Now, the exterior angle is 45 degrees. To find the interior angle of octagon, what we need to do is we need to take away from 180. So interior angle is going to be 180 take away 45 degrees, and that will give us an answer of 180 take away 45 and 135 degrees. So this angle here is 135 degrees. Now we can work out what this angle is of the polygon P. The interior angle of polygon P is going to be, because it's around a point, what we can do is 360 take away. So 360 take away 135 and take away that 60 as well. And that will give us 360 take away 135 take away 60, and that gives us 165. Now the interior angle of this polygon P is 165 degrees, so this angle here. Now what we need to do is find the exterior angle of this polygon P, and then we can divide 360 by the exterior angle and then find out how many sides there are. So to find the exterior angle of the polygon P, we need to take away from 180 again. So 180, take away 165, that gives us an answer of 15 degrees. And then we know exterior angles add up to 180 degrees. So if we divide, 360 degrees. So if you divide 360 by one exterior angle, that should give us the number of sides this polygon P has. So 360 divided by 15, and that gives us an answer of 24. So the number of sides this polygon P has is 24 sides. Question number 27. 100 ml of liquid A and 200 ml of liquid B are mixed together to make liquid C. Liquid A has a density of 0.8 grams per ml, and then liquid B has a density of 1.1 grams per ml. Work out the density of liquid C. Now, because it's involving density, mass, and volume. So we got the volume here, so 100 ml. Let's label these volume, and these are density, and we need to work out the density of liquid C. In order to do that, we need to work out what the mass of the volume C, the liquid C is, and then we can work out what the density is. So let's find out what the formula is first. So if you're not sure about the formula, the easiest way I remember it by drawing the triangle. So we know that density is equal to mass divided by volume. So mass is going to be density times by volume, and volume is equal to mass divided by density. So if you draw the triangle, it's easy to remember all of them. So always mass on the top, this is how I remember it, and density volume at the bottom. So let's work out what the mass for A is. So mass for A, so liquid A, so mass is going to be density times by volume. And then density for A is 0.8. 0.8 times by volume is 100 ml for A. So 100. And that will give an answer of 0.8 times by 100. I can do this in my head, but just making sure I do not make any silly mistakes. So make sure you're sure about your answer. So mass is 80 grams for liquid A, and liquid B, mass is going to be, density is 1.1 times by volume is 200 over here. And let's type this in our calculator. 1.1 times by 200. And that is 220 grams. 220 grams. Now, because liquid C is made by mixing A and B, what we need to do is we need to find out the total mass to find the mass of liquid C. So the mass of liquid C is, the total mass of liquid C, mass is going to be A and B added together, so be 80 plus 220. That gives us 300 grams. And the volume of C is going to be A and B volume added together. So the volume of C is going to be 100 plus 200, which is 300 milliliters. Now we need to work out what the density of liquid C is. So density is going to be mass times mass divided by volume. So the mass is 300 grams of liquid C, and the volume is 300 milliliters. So 300 divided by 300 is 1 gram per mil. So answer is 1. Question 26, one of my favorites, Venn diagrams. List the members of A intersection B. Some people say A and B, that's how I remember it, but the actual way of saying is A intersection B. So basically where A and B meet. By the way, if you are liking this video and if you think it is helping me, please do hit the like button. Please don't forget to leave a comment maybe at the end of this video to let me know whether this video helped you. So next video, hopefully I'll make another one for paper 3 as well for foundation, and maybe hopefully for one higher as well. Now, if you're doing higher exam as well, this could benefit you for the last few questions, so please do not check it out. So the one good thing about this video is I started from the back, so the higher people can actually benefit from it, so they don't need to skip the video and go to the start of from the beginning of this paper. Again, you can find the links to this paper in Maths Genie website. I'll post a link in the description below, so please do check it out and have a go at the questions before you watch this video. Now, list the members of A intersection B. So A, we got A here, we got B here, so where A and B are meeting. So A intersection B is this bit here. So don't get confused by just by 1 and 8, because A and B, so we're looking at this section here where A and B meet. So members of A intersection B is going to be 1, 3, and 8. So we've got these 3 numbers here. A number chosen at random from the universal set. So that's the universal set, everything. Find probability of B union C. So we need to look at B union C. So everything in B and everything in C, but not A. A is not involved here. So we're going to look at all of this and all of this as well. So how many numbers we have? Because it's probability, we need to write down the as a fraction or a decimal or a percentage. So let's write it as a fraction. Let's have a look how many members are in B and C altogether. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. And out of how many altogether? So we have 10 here, so, and 2 here, so it's 12 out of 12 altogether. So the probability of B union C is 10 out of 12. And it doesn't ask you to simplify this answer. You can leave it as this, but if you want to, you can simplify it. So you're going to give you simplified answer is going to be, or divide by 2 top and bottom, gives you 5/6. Next, question 25. The average house price in London in 2017 was £474,902. The average house price in London in 2018 was £469,538. Calculate the percentage change. Okay, there's your keyword there. Percentage change in house prices between 2017 and 18. Now we know that to work out the percentage change, we need to work out what the difference between the prices are, and then divide by the original price, and then times by 100 to find the percentage. So the formula is change in price divided by original price times by 100. So let's work out what the change is. So to find the change, we need to subtract the new price, which is the 2018. We need to subtract the 2017 price from 2018, because 2017 is the older price. So let's type this in. So we have £469,000 and 538. Be careful when you type your numbers in. Make sure you double check that you got the right digits. Take away £474,902, and that gives us an answer of, oh, I did it the other way around, so it should be the now we can clearly see the price is going down, so we've got a negative here. So I don't want to deal with negatives. Either way, you're going to give the same number, but this one is negative. So let's do it the right way. So £474,902 take away £469,538, and that gives us 5,364. So 5,364. The original price is the price that it was before, which is £474,902, and then times it by 100. Now we already got 5,364. Let's divide that by the original price, which was £474,902, and then multiply that by 100, and that gives you an answer of 1.1294. 1.1294, and let's round it to say 2 decimal places. And the question doesn't ask you to round it, so we can round it to 2 decimal places. So I need to add 1, so 5 are over, need to add 1 to this one, to be 1.13%. Decrease, because the price has gone down, as you can see from the original price and the new price, so 1.13% decrease. Now, I've not been writing the answer in the answer section because of the size. I tried to keep the question zoomed in, so always make sure you write the actual answer in the section provided, the dotted line provided. Next, question 24. A football team sell home shirts and away shirts. The ratio of home shirts to away shirt is 5:1. So home shirts and away shirts. Home shirts can either be adult shirts or children's shirts. The ratio of adult shirts sold to children's shirts, so adult shirts sold to children's shirts is 3:2. So I'm underlining the key information, so it will help me see what information I'll need from my question later on. What proportion of the total shirts sold are children's home shirts? Okay, so what proportion? Now we know proportion is out of the whole thing. So we know home shirts to away shirt is 5:1. So home shirt is going to be, so let's write down the proportion of home shirts. Home shirts is going to be, so home shirt is 5, and out of the total, which is 5 out of 1 is 6. 5 out of 6. And children's shirts, shirts, sorry about my writing, trying to rush here, and it's going to be children's shirt is 2, represents 2, make sure you got the right ratio number, so it'll be 2 out of 2, 3 out of 2 is 5. Now what proportion of the total shirts are sold are children's home shirts? So home, we've got home and we've got children's shirts as well, so what we need to do is we need to multiply the two fractions, so 5/6 times by 2/5. And that'll give us an answer of 5 times 2 is 10. Multiply the numerator by numerator, multiplying fractions rule. And 6 times 5 is 30. Now, if you're not sure about how to multiply fractions, check out my fractions video. I'll put the link on the top right hand corner now, so you can check it out if you need to. And then 10/30, you can simplify it if you want. So that will give us, divide by top and bottom by 10, that gives us 1/3. So the answer is 1/3. Question 23a, given x to the power of 6 divided by x over a is equal to x to the power of 8. Find the value of a. Zoom in a little bit. So we know that when we divide, we take with the powers. So let's write down, let's simplify this bit here. So x to the power of 6 take away a is equal to x to the power of 8. Now what we can do is we can form an equation. And that's an a, by the way, not a 9. And 6 take away a is 8. Because the base is the same, we can form this equation. So we can write 6 minus a is equal to 8. And all we have to do is solve this equation to find what the value of a is. And let's subtract 6 from both sides. That gives us minus a is equal to 2. Now we cannot have a minus a because we're finding the value of a. So we need to times by -1 both sides, times by -1, times by -1, a equals -2. So answer a is -2. Simplify 2m squared to the power of 4. Now let's find out what 2 to the power of 4 is. 2 to the power of 4, it means it's going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. And m squared to the power of 4. Now when we have a power and a power on top, we know that we need to multiply the two powers. So m squared, and we have a power of 4 there. So 2 times 4 is 8, so it'll be m to the power of 8. So answer is going to be 16 m to the power of 8. Again, don't forget to write your answer on the dotted line, 16m to the power of 8. Question 22. In London, potatoes cost 45 pence per pound. In Dublin, potatoes cost 1.48, €1.48 per kilogram. 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds, and 1 pound is 1 cent, €1.15. In which city are potatoes better value for money, London or Dublin? You must show your working, so we have to show all the working here. Now, before we compare, we need to convert them into maybe one unit, so the pounds, or we need to convert the pounds into kilograms or kilograms into pounds. Always change it to same unit and same currency so they can compare it. Let's change Dublin and leave London as it is, so we can leave London, which is going to be 45 pence. So London is 45 pence per pound. Per pound. Now, because we change leaving it as pounds and pounds, so we need to change the Dublin potatoes cost into pounds and pounds as well, because they're in kilograms. So first step is going to be to change €1.48. So €1.48 divided by, so per kilogram divided by 2.2 pounds, and that will give you an answer of, let's pull out the calculator, 1.48 divided by 2.2, and that gives us an answer of, press the SD to change the decimals, 0.672 recurring, so 0.6 recurring, 7 recurring, 2 recurring per pound. Now we got the euros, that's in euro, per pounds. Now we need to change the euro into pounds, the British currency. So let's divide 0.672 divided by, the exchange rate is £1 is €1.15, so divide by 1.15. We already got the answer there, so divided by 1.15, and that gives an answer of 0.58. So in pounds it's going to cost 0.58, so 58 pence per pound. So now we can compare them. So we got both into our British currency in pound sterling, so we can say the London has a better value of potatoes. So if you ever go to London, buy some potatoes. So London, you need to write your final conclusion. So London is better value for potatoes. Question 21. Charlie invests £5,600 for 4 years in a savings account. She gets 2% per annum compound interest. How much money does Charlie have at the end of 4 years? Now we know that to work out the amount of person who receives at the end of the term, we got a formula. So the amount invested times by the multiplier to the power of number of years. So we need to work out what the multiplier is. So let's write down the formula. So amount invested times by a multiplier to the power of years. Now the amount invested is 5,600, we know that, but we need to find out what the multiplier is. Now she gets 2% per annum, so if it's 2% on top of the 100% that she gets, so we need to find out how much is in total. So we need to add 2% to 100%, which is 102%. You don't need to do this, by the way, I'm just showing how we actually get in the answer, the multiplier, and divide 102 by 100. and that gives us the multiplier 1.02. So this is how we get the multiplier. The amount invested is 5,600. The amount invested times by the multiplier, which is 1.02, to the power of years, which is 4 years. Let's type this in the calculator. So 5,600 times by 1.02, and need to press this button here where it says x to the power of, so you can enter the power and then 4, and then press the right arrow button and then press equal, and that gives us an answer of £6,061.62. So £6,061.62, and that's our answer. So she gets Charlie gets £6,061.62 at the end of 4 years. Next standard form question. Write down 9,087,000. Is it 9,087,000? No, 9,870,000. So always, you don't need to read that number, but I'm just trying to read it out. It's always good to, sometimes you get in the foundation question, write the number in words. So 9,870,000. Okay, let's write it in standard form. Now we know to write it in standard form, the number has to be between 1 and 10, the prefix, and the power 10 to the power, so 10 to the power of, need to find that. So let's move the decimals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that gives us 9.87 times 10 to the power of, we moved it 6 places to the left, so it'll be 10 to the power of 6. That's quick, easy, 1 mark. Now, question B. Work out the value of 9.2 times 10 to the power of 6 divided by 3.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Give your answer in standard form to 3 significant figures. If you watch my top 5 Gcse Maths calculator hack video, then you'll see that how I enter the standard form all in one in calculator, and then question B, work out the value of 9.2 times 10 to the power of 6 divided by 3.4 times 10 to the power of 8. Give your answer in standard form to 3 significant figures. If you watch my top 5 Gcse Maths calculator hack video, you'll find out that how I enter the standard form all in the calculator and work out the answer very quickly. So let's type it in the calculator. So we have to type all this calculation into the calculator as it appears. So press open brackets, 9.2. And then press shift and log button here. You can see it's 10 to the power on right on top of here. So shift and log, that gives us, need to enter the times first. So times, shift, log, and that'll give you 10 to the power, and enter the power, which is 6. And then press the right arrow button. Now you need to press the right arrow button, otherwise everything will be at a power of 10. So just bear that in mind. And then close brackets, and we're dividing by open brackets 3.4 times shift log button 10 to the power of 8, and then press the right arrow button and then close the bracket. So always make sure you press the right arrow button. Now press equal and SD button, change it to decimals, so 0.27, so 0.27 05. We will stop here, and we need to round it to 3 significant figures. So that will give us, that's not significant, significant, significant. So we need to go up to here. So we need to add 1 to this number. So that gives us 0.271. Now we need to change it to standard form. So we round it to 3 significant figures. We need to change it to standard form. So we need to make the number between 1 and 10. So move the decimal place. Sorry, just double check the digits. There's a 0 in front of 2. That's what I was thinking. So I wrote this number wrong. So always be careful when you are copying down the digits from your calculator. You could easily make mistakes. So it's 0.02705. So 0.02705. Now round it to 3 significant figures. So not significant, not significant. This is significant, significant. So we need to move to the next digit. So rounding this number, add 1 to this. So that gives us 0.0271. So round it to 3 significant figures. Now we need to change it to standard form. So that will give us, we need to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that will give us 2.71 times 10 to the power of, because we moved it 2 places to the right, minus 2. So the answer is 2.71 times by 10 to the power of minus 2. Question 19. Andy and Bruce share some sweet in the ratio 9:4. Andy gets A sweets, Bruce gets B sweets. Carla and David share the same amount of sweets as Andy and Bruce. They share their sweets in the ratio of 5:2. Carla gets C sweets, David gets D sweets. Find A to B to C to D. A lot of things going on here. Now what we need to do is we need to find the total parts of each of these pair of people get. So 9 to 4. So we need to add the ratio. So 9 add 4. We have a total of 13 parts here for Andy and Bruce. Let's write down Andy and Bruce. And then for Carla and David, we have 5:2. So Carla, David, we have 5 plus 2, which is 7. Now with this question, let's write down the ratios. A to B is 9:4, and C to D, Carla and David, which is 5:2. Now we need to find the equivalent fraction, equivalent ratio. Excuse me, coming down with the cold. So we need to find the equivalent ratio, so we can write it as a whole ratio, A to B to C to D. Now when we find equivalent fraction, we times by the opposite denominator. So similar thing is going to happen here. We need to multiply Andy and Bruce's ratio by 7, and then Carla and David's ratio by 13 by the opposite total ratio. So let's find out what the answer is. So times by 7 here. 7 to 9 is 63, 7 times 4 is 28, so 63 to 28, and then 13 times by 5 is 65, and then 13 times 2 is 26. If you're not sure about these numbers, timetables, always check on the calculator. We got the A to B is 63 to 28, and C to D is 65 to 26. Now we could write the ratio as A to B to C to D. Let's write the answer here. So A to B to C to D. So A is 63 to 28 is A to B, to C is 65 to 26, and that's our answer. Question number 18. A number x is rounded to 2 decimal places. The result is 1.54. Write down the error interval for x. So we write error interval, we need to write down x is smaller than a number, and then greater than or equal to that a number. So a number that we round it, we get 1.54. So we can have 1.535. So if you round 1.535, we add 1 to that, and that gives us 1.54. So it gives us 1.54. A number x has to be less than, which is 1.545. Now it has to be less than this number, because if you round 1.545 to 2 decimal places, because we have 2 decimal places here, it gives us we need to add 1 to that, 1.55. So we cannot have this number as equal. It definitely needs to be less than that number here. So that's our answer. So x 1.535 and x is less than 1.545. Question number 17. The diagram shows a cuboid A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. ABCD is a square with an area of 25 centimeters squares. CG is 12 centimeters. Find the volume of the cuboid. Now we know that ABCD is a square, so ABCD is a square. Now because it's 25 centimeters squared, we can say that each side lengths are 5 centimeters, 5 by 5. So every round is 5 by 5. We don't need to find that. What we can do is, because we got the area of the cross section, which is 25 centimeters squared, all we have to do is multiply by the length of the cuboid. So we can do is to work out the volume, 25 times by 12, and then that will give us an answer of, not sure, check on the calculator, 25 times by 12, which is 300 centimeters cubed, because it is a volume. Okay, I need to zoom in a little bit more on this one because otherwise it won't fit in. Number 16. An artist is making orange paint by mixing red paint X milliliters and yellow paint Y milliliters in the ratio 8:11. Use this information to draw a graph showing the relationship between the amount of red paint and the amount of yellow paint used. Now before we use the graph, we need some coordinates. And now where do we get the coordinates from? Now we can use this ratio 8:11 to work out some ratios. Work out some coordinates, and we can use this coordinate to plot the points and then draw our graph. So red paint to yellow paint, we have 8:11. Now what we can do, you can find some equivalent ratios and then find those coordinates by using that equivalent ratio. So times by, say, 2. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 11 is 22. And then we have 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 11 is 33. And then let's find out another pair of coordinates, which is, let's say, 4 times 8 is 32. And 4 times 11 is 44. Now we've got enough coordinates to actually plot our graph, and then we can answer the rest of the question. So red paint and then yellow paint, so 8:11, so go 8 across. I need to zoom in a little bit more on this one. Make sure you use a pencil and a ruler. So 8:11. So it's up to 10, so this is going to be 8:11. I try to be as accurate as possible. Put a little dot there, or across. And then we have 16 to 22, so 16 across on red paint. So 15, 16 across, and 22 up. 1, 2. Sorry, that's 20. 1, 2. Next we have 24 and 33, so 24 across, that's 25, that's 24, and 33, all the way to 30, 1, 2, 3, point here. And then we had 32 to 44, so we have 31, 32, and all the way to 44, yeah. Try to be as accurate as possible. If you're not sure, use a ruler to find out where exactly it's going to be. Now all we have to do is join the points up using a ruler. Now I'm going to find it very difficult to use a ruler here, but I'll try and draw a straight line with freehand. So it should go past all those points. That's not bad, a bit wobbly. Like I said, use a ruler and pencil. Now that's done. We've drawn the graph. Let's go to part B. The artist decided to use 40 milliliters of yellow paint. Use your graph to work out how much red paint he should use. Now we need to go to 40 milliliters of yellow paint. So go to 40, draw a straight line using a ruler to the graph. The line is a little bit like scatter graph, and then go all the way down, straight line. And that gives us an answer roughly around about 29 or 30, just okay, around about, let's say 29 milliliters. So that'd be 29 milliliters, and that's worth 1 mark. Now, to get that 1 mark, and make sure you draw these lines and be sure that that is your answer. Do not guess the numbers. Next, number 15. Here is a number line, and on this number line, show the inequality. X is greater or equal to -3 and less than 2. Now, we know that if it's greater than or equal to, we need to have 2 different circles. This one represents greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, and then this one, the hollow one, represents greater than or equal to, less than only. Now we got a equal, so we're going to use the hollow, and we've got -3. So on top of -3, we're going to draw the solid circle, and this is 2 without any equals. We're going to draw the hollow circle on top of the 2, and all we're going to do is, using a ruler, join these 2 circles, and that's it. That's our answer. Number 14. A circular field has a diameter of 32 meters. A farmer wants to buy enough grass seed to cover the field. 1 box of grass seed will cover 66 meters squared. Work out how many boxes of grass seed the farmer needs to buy. So we need to work out what we can clearly see. We need to work out the area of this circular field, and to work out the area, we have been given the diameter. So to work out the area, we need to find what the radius is. So 32 is the diameter, so the radius is going to be 32 divided by 2, which is half of the diameter, which is 16 meters. And then we need to work out the area. So area of circle we know is pi r squared. So pi times by radius squared, which is 16 squared. Use a calculator, use the pi button on your calculator. So press shift and then the pi button here, times by 16 squared, and press the equal button. So change it to decimal. 804.247. So 804.247 meters squared. So meters squared. Now we found the area of the field, and now 1 box of grass seed will cover 66 meters squared. So we need to find out how many boxes of grass seed we'll need to cover this much area, 804.247. So we just divide the total area, 804.247 divided by 66, divided by 66 is equal to 12.18. So we need 12.18 boxes approximately. So we round it to, just leave it as 12.18, or you can round it to 12.19. But either way, we need to round the number of boxes up. So to round the boxes, because the shop won't sell you 0.18 of a box. If you go and ask a shopkeeper, or can you sell me a 1.18 of a box, 12.18 of a box, what the response going to be? Clearly they're going to say, here's a door, mate, just get out. Think probably crazy or something. But anyway, so we need to round it up. So you need to buy the whole box, because we need to cover the area with the grass seed. So we need to round it up to 13 boxes, and that will be our answer. Number 13, bearings question. The diagram below represents 2 towns on a map. So Littleford and Bartown. Scale 1 centimeter represents 5 kilometers. Work out the real distance between Littlefield and Bartown. We can clearly see it says diagram accurately drawn. So that means we need to measure Littlefield to Bartown. So that will give you, if I do it on paper, because I'm zoomed in a little bit, it won't give me the accurate answer. But what you need to do is get a ruler, measure from Littlewood to Bartown on a ruler, on a centimeter side, not the millimeter side. And then whatever answer you get, so if you measure, you should get around about 7.5 centimeters. And the scale is 1 centimeter represents 5 kilometers. So 7.5 centimeter represents 7.5 times by 5. So that will give us 7.5 times by 5. That gives us 37.5. So 37.5 kilometers. So write it in your dotted line, 37.5 kilometers. So measure it and times it by the scale which is given. Find the bearing of Bartown from Littleford. So Bartown from Littleford. So always start from. So which is can be confusing, these type of question, but look at the wording right at the end. From Littleford. So we're going to start from Littleford, and this is the north line. So we're going to measure the bearing from Littleford. So what you'll need is you will need to use a protractor for this one and measure this angle here from Littleford to Bartown. Okay, always start from the north line and always make sure your protractor starts from 0 and then measure that line, and this should give you an answer of 109 degrees. Sorry, I can't use a protractor on this, but make sure you try it yourself as well. Next, a pie chart question. The table shows some information about the favorite sports of some students. So you got football, hockey, netball, and rugby, and you got the frequency and one of the angles given. And draw an accurate pie chart to show this information. So we need to find out the rest of the angles. So what we need to do for this one is we need to find the total frequency. So if you add them up, that should give you 72. And then we need to divide 72. Sorry, divide 360 by 72, and that gives us an answer of 360 divided by 72, and that gives us 5 equals 5. Now we need to multiply all of these frequency by 5. So you can check your answer by multiplying 5 by 30, gives us 150. 12 times 5 is 60 degrees. 20 times 5 is 100 degrees, and 10 times 5 is 50 degrees. Now we've got all the angle sizes. All we have to do is, using a protractor, we need to draw our pie chart. Again, I won't be able to use a protractor on this one, so what you need to do is start off by drawing a straight line and then use the protractor to draw these angles. So for football, I'll do an approximate one, which is 150, so this is 90, so we're going to be more than 90, so this is 180, so 150, say approximately here. And then hockey, so football, hockey, which is 60 degrees. And then we have netball and rugby. Okay, so make sure you label your pie chart with the words and the whichever is given. So write down the full words: football, hockey, netball, and rugby. Question 11. Abby buys a sofa for £540. She pays a deposit of 15% and the rest of the money in monthly payments of £17. How many monthly payments will Abby need to pay? So first of all, we need to work out what 15% of £540 is. So 15%, so 540 times by 15%, and that gives an answer of you have a percentage button on your calculator, so all you have to do is 540 times shift and this answer button here. On top of that, you can see the percentage button. So you type in, so first of all you need to type in 15 and then shift answer button, and that will give you the answer, £81. That's £81. Now I need to work out, this is how much deposit she pays, so let's see how much she left over. So that'd be 540 minus £81. 540 minus 81, that gives us £459. So £459, and then 17 monthly payments. So I need to divide 459 by 17 to see how much per month she has to pay. So 459 already in the calculator, divided by 17. That gives an answer of £27. So £27 she needs to pay per month. So £27. Number 10, Ian is going to make some cakes. I love cakes. He was worked out her needs. She, okay, maybe just a error on the question. No problem. Needs 16 eggs, 675 grams of sugar, and 390 grams of flour. Ian can buy packs of 6 eggs for £1.45 each, 500 grams bags of sugar for 59p each, 500 grams of bags of flour for 95p each. Work out how much does Ian need to spend to buy his ingredients. So we need to work out how many packs he needs to buy first. This is bugging me, so let's turn to Ian. Is a boy's name, male name, so write down he here. So we need to buy how many packs? So 6 eggs for £1.45 each, and he needs 16 eggs. So that will give us how many packs? So 3 packs. 3 packs. And then we need to buy 500 grams bags of sugar for now 59p each. So he needs 675 grams. So he needs 2 bags, because 2 of them will give 1000 grams, so we need 675, so that'll be more than enough. And then 390 grams of flour, and bags come in 500 grams, so 1 bag of flour should be enough. 1 bag. Okay, now need to work out what the price is. So 3 packs and £1.45 each, so 3 times 1.45, 145. And then 500 grams, so 2 bags at 59p each. So 2 bags at 59p each, 0.59, 59 pence. And then 500 grams, just one of them. So 1 times by 95 pence, 0.95. So 3 times 145. 3 times 1.45 gives us £4.35, so £4.35. 2 times 59 pence, so 2 times 0.59 gives us £1.18, £1.18, and 1 times 95 is 0.95 is 0.95, 95 pence. We need to add them all together. So we have £4.35 added to £1.18 added to 95 pence. That gives a total of £6.48. So £6.48. So we added them together. So answer is Ian needs to spend £6.48 to buy his ingredients. Question 9. Amelia wants to buy 6 sausage rolls. Each sausage roll costs 84 pence. Amelia pays with a £10 note. Work out how much change Amelia will get from £10. So we need to work out how much the 6 sausage roll costs. 6, and we've got 84p each. So 6 times 84 pence, and that gives us an answer of 6 times 84 pence, and that gives us an answer of £5.04. So £5.04. She pays with a £10 note, so we need to find out how much change Amelia will get. So 10 minus £5.04, and then that will give us 10 minus £5.04. SD button, £4.96. So £4.96. £4.96 change Amelia will get. Question B. When in the shop, Amelia finds out that the price of the sausage rolls has been increased. How does this affect the amount of change she will get? Now, because the sausage roll price has gone up, that means she needs to spend more. So, therefore, she will get less change. So, she will get less change. And that's worth 1 mark, 1 easy mark. When you get a question like this, just think about, if you're not sure, sometimes these type of questions could be confusing. So always stop, read it again, and think through, if she goes to the shop, the price is going up, what is going to happen? So take your time, well, not too long, and then answer this question, this type of question. Okay, number 8, here are the first 5 terms of a sequence, 17, 14, 11, 8, and 5. Find the next term of this sequence. So first of all, we need to work out what is the difference between the terms. So it's going down, 17 to 14, so taking away 3 each time. So each time, 11 take away 3 is 8, 8 take away 3 is 5, so 5 take away 3 is going to be 2. So the next term of the sequence is going to be 2. The nth term of a different sequence is 10n squared plus 5. Work out the 5th term of this sequence. Now, this is the nth term given, and we need to work out the 5th term. So that means n is equal to 5 here. And the nth term is 10n squared plus 5. So we need to substitute n for 5. So 10 times by 5 squared plus 5. And you can use a calculator, do bid maths. So 10 times 5 squared, press the right arrow button, oops, and then plus 5, and that'll give you the answer, 255. So 255. Write your answer on the dotted line. I know I've not been writing the answer on the dotted line because of the way this file is, the question paper on my computer. Number 7, write the ratio 32 to 24 in its simplest form. So what we can do is 30 to 24 can divide by 2. If you find the highest common factor, you can do it in one go. We can see the highest common factor is 8. So we divide by 8, which is going to be 32 divided by 8 is 4, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. So answer is 4 to 3. Now, what else you can do is, if you're not sure about what number goes into 32 and 24, you can divide it by 2. So divided by 2 and divided by 2, that gives us 32 divided by 2 is 16, 24 divided by 2 is 12. It's not in the simplest form, so divide by 2 again. So divided by 2 and divided by 2 again, so it'll be 8. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Again, it's not in simplest form, so divided by 2 again, divided by 2 again, so that gives us 4 to 3, and it got the same answer. Now, on your calculator, you can actually enter okay, so the answer is 4 to 3. Next, question B. 1/9 of the people in the class are left-handed. Write the ratio of left-handed people to the right-handed right-handed people. So 1/9 of the people in class are left-handed. So that means out of the 9, there are still 8 people who are going to be right-handed, because altogether we have 9. So that is going to be 8 out of 9 people. So make sure these two add up to 9. So the ratio of left-handed people to right-handed people is going to be 1 to 8. So the answer is 1 to 8. Number 6a, simplify. So we need to multiply the like terms. So 3 times 4 is 12, and f times g is fg. So we 12fg. Simplify, collecting the like terms. So what we're going to do is put the x's in a rectangle, maybe, plus including the sign, so you know what to do. So minus 6y and plus y in circles. So 3x plus 5x is 8x, and minus 6y plus y is minus 5y. So answer is 8x minus 5y. Number 5, there are 3 different options for starter and 3 options for main course. So we've got starter and main course: bread, salad, olives, lasagna, pizza, ravioli. Getting hungry now. Been fasting all month, and luckily I'm doing this in the evening. So not getting very hungry. So let's have a look. List all the different combinations that can be chosen. So we have bread and lasagna. So we need to match up these. So all different combinations. We can have bread lasagna, bread pizza, and bread ravioli. So I need to write down these. So bread lasagna, bread pizza, and then we have bread ravioli. Then we have salad, lasagna, salad, pizza, and salad ravioli. Salad, lasagna, salad, pizza, and salad ravioli. Then we have olive, lasagna, olive, pizza, and olive ravioli. So olive, lasagna, olive, pizza, and we have olive ravioli. And that's it. We've got 9 different combinations. One good way to check your answer is because we have 3 here and 3 here, so we have 9 different combinations because 3 times 3 is 9. So that's one good way to check your answer. Number 4, write down the probability of scoring an odd number on an ordinary 6-sided dice. So we know on an ordinary 6-sided dice we have odd numbers. We have, if not sure, write down these numbers on a 6-sided dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. So we have 3 odd numbers because we're writing as a probability out of 6 in total. So 3 out of 6. And if you simplify it, that gives you 1/2. Write down the probability of scoring 6 on an ordinary 6-sided dice. We only have 1 6 on a 6-sided ordinary dice. So 1. And out of 6 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the answer for this one. Number 3, write down all the factors of 20. Now, when you get a question like this, always write down the factors in pairs. So which 2 numbers times together gives me 20. So 1 and 20, 2 and 10, and 4 and 5. So the factors of 20 are going to be 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So we have altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors of 20. Almost there. Number 2, here is a list of numbers 6, 8, 10, 16, 19, 26, and 30. From the numbers in the list, write down a prime number. Now, I would suggest if you don't know your prime numbers, always get to learn them. Because sometimes we kind of guess what the prime numbers are, but sometimes, most of the time, we get them wrong. So always know your prime numbers, at least up to 30, and it will help you answer these type of questions. Now, maybe a bit more. Okay, I would say about 50 maybe. Now, from the numbers in the list, write down a prime number, so we can clearly see this 19 is a prime number. I know my prime numbers. But if you're not sure what prime numbers are, find out whether any other number goes into 19 other than 1 and itself. And I clearly see no other number goes into 19, and it does not appear in the timetable apart from 1 and 19 timetables. So therefore 19 is a prime number. You don't want to get this type of question wrong. Okay, from the numbers in the list, write down a square number. So if you're not sure about the square number, write down the square number. So 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 6 times 6 is 36, and then choose a number which appears on the list. Okay, so we can see out of these, we have 16 is a square number, appears on our list. So 16 is a square number. And finally, the last question, change 3 liters into milliliters. So we know that 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters. So 3 liters is going to be 3 times 1000, which is 3000 milliliters. So answer is 3000 milliliters. Now I'm hoping this video will help you go with your exams, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, Don't forget to leave a comment to let me know how it actually helped. Like I said before, the link is in the description below for the paper and the answer sheet as well. Thank you very much to Maths Genie, who are actually preparing these test papers, predicted GCSE Maths paper for the GCSE calculator exam, paper 2 and paper 3. And all I'm going to say, good luck with your exam, and see you in the next video. Mr. Mahmud, helping you do better in maths.